let me say good morning to one and all. Welcome to another edition of To The Point. Today, Friday, the 26th day of August, 2022. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Yeah, I've said it a couple of times because I'm just shouting everyone out this morning. Wherever you at around the entire Trialan, or Sister Isles of Carriacou, good morning. Good morning to Petit Martinique. Let's say good morning once again, man. There's a lot of morning in there, right? Anyway, hope all is well with everyone, and it's To The Point for today. It's another edition of an open line edition of To The Point, which means you, the callers out there, you have the option of calling in and talking about issues that is relevant, and maybe of some, maybe those issues that you may like to speak about today could make some change or make life better for us on this beautiful island of Grenada, and our sister isles of Carriacou and Petit Martinique. Those of you viewing this morning, especially those of you via GBN TV, let me say good morning. Yes, hope all is well with you this morning. Whether you're viewing Channel 7, Channel 11, or Channels 20, I want to wish you a lovely, lovely, lovely Friday. Started off with a bit of showers this morning on the outdoors. On my way to work, it has subsided a bit within my area. Not sure for the outer parishes and so forth, but it may or may not be raining in your area. If it is, of course, hope you're able to manage it well. Those of you on your way to work, let me say good morning to you. Probably to get there for 10 a.m. this morning, so you're moving early. You want to get there at time, or maybe something you got to do before you get onto the GOB. So certainly hope you will have a lovely day. Don't forget the number you can call. 4352041, 4352041. It's an open line edition of To The Point for today. Let me also say good morning to our viewers via social media this morning, Facebook, YouTube. You folks are with us every morning. Certainly a pleasure. It's been a pretty busy week in the Spice Island, I must say, this week. Lots happened this week, man. It's been one of those weeks once again, and I'm certainly sure there are things that have happened within this week that you want to probably just chiming on. State your views, your concerns about it, and certainly offering you that opportunity to do so this morning here on To The Point. 4352041, 4352041. It's Friday, the 26th day of August, and your phone calls are welcome. Those of you who also do have comments and you want to make a comment or something of interest that you would like to throw out, a concern also, and you want to do it via our WhatsApp number, it's also 4352041. You could just add that number to your WhatsApp, send your comments. Those of you via our Facebook page, once again, you also have that option of sending or throwing out your comments in the comment section of the Facebook Live, and certainly I will certainly read them this morning, because I do already have it up before me. We do our very first call in. Let's go over and say good morning to the caller. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, and how are you?
All right, and you?
I'm doing okay.
What I want to chime in on is that I want to say, without no apology, no. Whenever God put anyone up in a leadership or on top there to rule, now you rule wisely. You don't do things in no partisan area. Whether I'm speaking on behalf of the previous as well as the one before. You take interest in the people of the nation area. You be fair in your judgment. You don't have respect to persons, and you deal with everyone fairly and justly and rightly. That pleases God up there. But when you see you behave in these kind of ways, many a times they behave in these ways, they kindle the wrath of God upon them, and they will definitely feel the pain from the Lord up there, because that is what He don't like, these kind of behavior patterns. Thank you.
All right, caller, thank you very much there for your contribution this morning. 4352041, 4352041. It's To The Point. We take in your phone calls. You can chime in, of course, on issues that you think it's a bit of a concern of yours, or something is on your mind, and you say, I want to talk about this, and you certainly want to express it, and I'll give you that listen air this morning so that you can certainly do that. Missed that call there for a wee bit. 435-2041, 435-2041. It's to the point, and I'm certainly giving you the option to call in and state your views. I don't have a specific topic this morning that we're going to be discussing per se, so it's the option for you, callers. Yeah, share a topic, and probably it's going to be something that I would like to share my 2 cents on, per se, in terms of the topic that you may be coming up with, or on something that you would like to share, and I could probably put my input into it also. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, good morning.
Hi, good morning, GT, and good morning to your followers on the different media. Just quickly, I wanted to just reflect on something I heard yesterday. I was privileged to hear part of the NNP press conference yesterday, and I was tickled. You know, the passion I was hearing, and a lot of the concerns that were being raised about things that need to happen and are not happening, and the apparent, horror that people are not being served. And I can only say to myself that the chickens have come home to roost. The same people who destroyed all the structures we had for efficient governance, they're coming 2 months after and saying, oh, everything has fallen, nothing is happening. And this is what they have actually created systematically over the last many years. All the structures that were there for decent and efficient governance, they destroyed them. They decimated the public service as we knew it. Decimated, totally. Like you had to build it back from scratch. The Public Service Commission, they castrated that one. It can't do anything that it's supposed to do. I mean, it's almost non-existent, the Public Service Commission, which was such a respected organization and structure in our country. They just killed it. And as for the Department of Personnel Management, Administration, it's destroyed beyond recognition in the Prime Minister's office, and they have done so much to it that you can't even recognize it in terms of its function, its role as a Department of Personnel Management anymore. Everything that was supposed to help with efficiency and smooth governance, they have destroyed. And now, because most of that was done basically where they wanted to control everything and manipulate so they can divide and rule Grenadians. And now that they're not in office, now you hear they crying foul about lack of structure. Now, the largest social safety net program Grenada has experienced in my time, I can tell you, was the school books program, the free school books program. And that went on, it was done seamlessly. They came afterwards and said, oh, $100,000 is missing. And afterwards they realized they couldn't say where it was missing. You know why it has happened? Why it was so efficient and seamless? It was done at the level of the schools by people who knew the students, who knew their families, who knew their needs, and was going to be able to work with them. What did they do? No, they disbanded it, and they brought it to the constituency offices. Vouchers and everything had to come through that channel. So we have I would say well-established norms for doing things. They destroy them. So far what we've had recently was public funds being put in the hands of party hacks and administered through party structures in party offices. Now, could that be continued? They expect the new government to send the money back to the same NNP offices to distribute? They expect that to happen? No, it can't happen. And the NDC doesn't have such a structure, and I don't think they plan to do those things through those channels. It would be improper. So now that you have destroyed what was there, time is needed now to rebuild them. So what we see happening now is what was created systematically over time by these people.
All right.
And this is so sad, very, very sad. And it's just an early view of what they have left us with in this country. It will take a long time to rebuild what we have lost. And some of it will never, ever get it back, sadly. So, Mrs. Pear and others, stop crying your crocodile tears. What we see now is what you have actually created for us to make us ungovernable, as someone once threatened us with some time before. Have a good day.
All right, caller, thank you so much for your contribution this morning. 435-2041, 435-2041. It's To The Point for today. Let me say good morning to our viewers and listeners via Facebook this morning. And those of you, don't forget you're free to make your comments via the Facebook comment section. And certainly going to read the ones that are certainly relevant that I could read this morning. Most of them so far. Let me take a quick peek at it. And once again, 435-2041. We do have another caller. Let's go over to the phone line and say good morning to this caller. Caller, good morning. How are you?
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm good. Nice rain. The weather is cool, so I'm happy.
Good, good. Mm-hmm.
I'd like to just comment a little, enhance what the last caller had said.
Yes.
What the last administration has done was deliberate. And I hope people can see that. It was a deliberate decision to destroy the public service so that they can put the party system in place so that any government, and the only government that can replace them was the NDC. When and if they get into office, that sort of difficulty would easily present itself because they very well appreciate, they know that this sort of way that they are operating, the NDC would not continue with this sort of operation. So what they did was deliberate, and people have to understand that. But there is my concern, Mr. Telesford. I believe that the responsibility lies with the present administration. The public relations needs to be enhanced and beefed up. It is the right of the public to know what is happening. Yes, a few people around might have an appreciation as to what is happening, but I think the bulk of the population needs to be abreast. Now the government has GIS and other form of medium at its disposal. Please use those forums and educate our people as to what is actually happening. So those politicians and who is coming and making it seem as though that the NDC is doing so much of crazy and mad things, they will soon be useless in the eyes of the people.
All right.
That is something that they need to do.
All right, caller.
My last point before I leave. Mr. Telesford, yours is one of the leading media houses in Grenada. And one of my problems that I've had over the years is the lack of investigative journalism in Grenada. It seems like you all just stay, and please don't take it personal, not just your station. It seems like those so-called journalists, those so-called media people just stay in the offices and people have to call them, or they don't go and look for news. They don't investigate. So that certain things come to them and they just sit down. They are like lame ducks. It's unfortunate that this sort of thing has to be happening. But we have reached a stage now, Mr. Telesford. I think your station as well, all of the other stations, the media people in Grenada need to be more proactive. For instance, one issue, there is this talk that hundreds of people have been sent home. And it seems like some of the media people are also talking about it, they are saying it. But where is the evidence? Where is the investigation to prove that those allegations, those statements are false? everyone is sitting in the office and doing nothing about it. And the goose just running all about the place. I would like to admonish your station through you and the other stations and those so-called media people, journalists, to go out and investigate those allegations. Because Grenada is small, a 2x4 country, we'll have to travel much to get those information. Please do what you are supposed to do to bring information to the people so that they can be liberated. Good morning and have a good day.
All right, thank you so much for your contribution, caller. Caller did said a lot there. Some of it, of course, I'm happy to hear that you have those concerns, and certainly interesting in terms of all that he had to say. Let's go back to the phone line and say good morning to the caller. Caller, good morning, and how are you?
I'm fine, GT, and I know you're fine because you're bubbling. So that's good. And if we could help each other to be bubbling, it could help in a better, really nation building.
So good, sir. So true. Go right ahead.
You have to be relaxed. You have to be in a good state of mind in order to contribute or to produce in any field that you are in. Mm-hmm. And most of us, unfortunately, we are tense even before we turn up to work, or we have to deal with our children because of how we get ourselves, stressed. We're not necessarily the political system, but we are, as Bob Marley said, mixed up moods and attitude. Mm-hmm. Anyway, my point is that I want to concur with the last two callers in particular, but I also want to say that I heard one of the former ministers, let me think on GBN one time. I know I don't have much time. But, you folks have to be mindful that you could continue influencing people in the wrong way. Yesterday, I happened to put on the radio just around the time you have the news at 12 o'clock news. And I heard this young reporter or a newscaster saying, referring to the lady, Honorable Emlyn Fair. And in part of it, he didn't do it all throughout, but there were times when he mentioned the woman as Minister Fair. She is not a minister, if you say former Minister of Finance. That's what these folks like. They like to get people to believe that they're still in power, and as they did in the past. You see, one of the things I could never have any empathy for this group called NMP, apart from the fact that they were created by Reagan and others, is that the leader, the current leader, you always usurp power in the space. And let me just give you a few situations. One is that in 95, before consulting the Governor General, this man called a holiday. When the Governor General, scolded him, I didn't know. Of course, he didn't know. Then also in the 90s, Mr. Winifred Stone was the opposition leader. And the man, I would say, he reduced already. This word is not coming right now. For instance, he spent 10 hours one time, over 10 hours saying what he could have said in 2 hours. Subsequently, the folks in Parliament changed the law. That's why politicians have limited time. Also, in terms of the Speaker of the House, Honorable Maguire, asked the gentleman to withdraw a statement he made in relation to on the governance side. He refused. For the the Speaker said, but look, I'll have to, have you leave. When he was being escorted by the gentleman who has since died, he's called the radio station or not, he turned back to the Speaker and said, yes, they're paying you to do that, they're paying you to do that. What kind of example we have as a leader? People will get hard with me, but this to me showed you the quality of leader we have. There's a statement, a famous statement that I have. I've used it in my writing, which was quoted by the EU Courier magazine, somewhere in 93 or 94. And when this man described Grenada as be chaotic and things falling apart, I'll publish it one day again. Mm-hmm. Which was untrue. Untrue. What this man has done, and his people, his cohort and them, they have run parallel governments. So they learned that this could succeed, and they succeeded the last couple of times. And they're trying that again. So that's why they never stop campaigning, and they sound and they give the people impression that they're still in power. I remember in 2008, after 2008, one of the, I think Arona at the time.
Take another 30 seconds to call and wrap up, please.
I had to try to tell the folks who were calling in that program and YFM that there's only one minister. Because people say, my prime minister, my representative. No, there's only one representative for each constituency. So if the minister tell, and why we have to go to ministers? We should stop that. The minister, we should go to the servants of the minister. Now, if there is something that is really, difficult, and so, then we seek an audience with the politicians. They are not God. They made themselves God and want them new politicians to be like God too. Give me or whatever. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, caller, for your contribution this morning. 435-2041. Don't forget, we got cricket this morning once again here on Classic 105. There's cricket this morning, so you can tune in. For those of you who are lovers of cricket, don't forget it's the T10 men and women's competition, the 6th men and women's T10. And from 10 a.m. this morning, today, Friday, we see Kings versus Patriots. That's in the male division, and that comes up for you at 10 a.m. this morning here on K105. We due for a short break. Let's take that break. When we come back, we entertain more of your calls pertaining to issues and more that you would like to speak about here on To The Point for today, Friday. We're coming right back. Don't touch it out.
I want to control your anger. There's a way to feel better. That's one thing to remember. No matter where you are, you can be a star. Stop and take a deep breath.
This could be out. Brilliant catch. What a stunning catch.
The biggest party in sports, the Caribbean Premier League, is back and live on GBN television. Capture the energy, excitement, and euphoria of the beloved game. 34 matches, 6 teams, only one to be crowned champion. The action starts August 31st and runs until September 30th. Live on GBN television at K105.5 and 105.9. It's no carnival, but you will enjoy the mass.
And you're kidding me! You are kidding me!
Welcome back, one and all, once again to The Point for today, Friday. It's an open line for you and To The Point for today, which means we're taking your phone calls live on air. And I want to thank all those who have been contributing thus far. Good morning. Those of you, of course, via social media, there's a couple of comments that I will be getting into in a few minutes. And certainly some of the comments are worth, of course, mentioning this morning. So I will certainly be getting them live on air. I will personally read them after I entertain this caller. Caller, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Thank you. And how are you?
Doing good.
My contribution is I am a retired public servant. And I remember in those days when I worked with many governments, the Gary, Revolution, whoever. Mm-hmm. But the Public Service Commission was there to do its job. Hire, as they said, they hire and they fire. But what I'm noticing nowadays is that the politicians come and people are just being sent home and people are just being transferred. And the Public Service Commission, I am not sure, I am not saying that I know that they are aware of it, but it's happening so often. You have governments going, governments coming, and the same thing's happening. I would really like us to, first of all, look at our Constitution and have the Public Service Commission doing what they're supposed to be doing with our public servants. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, caller. This caller there is asking about the functionality of the Public Service Commission. Is it functioning or not? Certainly understand your contribution there. 435-2041. Let me get a couple of the comments in before I tap into our next caller. Good morning once again. And this caller is saying, I'm concerned about the vouchers I used to get for clothes for my son who goes to school for special education. His father is not helping him since from birth to now. He's 13 years old, and this individual is saying that she needs help. So I'm not sure in terms of how I can respond to that for you. I guess you may have to refer to the necessary authorities. Or if there's someone in authority who's listening pertaining to how the vouchers for clothes and stuff is being distributed this time around, you could probably calling and share that information. Let's go to another caller. Caller, good morning.
Yes, good morning. I'm calling in regards to reports being made about the Bacolet project.
Mm-hmm.
The irony is they removed the child from the cell. And
so he was removed. The individual is now removed from the cell.
And he's put to live in the room with the teenage girls.
Yeah.
Okay? And in 2008, the PS at Social Services now, Ms. Charles, went up to Bacolet to deal with a matter of pilfering, what we call stealing.
Mm-hmm.
She held a meeting, workers were fired, and the culprit still on the job, being in a position now, nothing was done because they didn't call the police to investigate the matter with the missing monies from Bacolet project. We have the children in Bacolet rearing fowls. They are not given to eat. They have to get food, chicken from the shop. We have a lot of things going on. The clinical psychologist has his private practice in Grenville. He is not at Bacolet. He only passed there once in a while. Okay? I mean, there is a one they call Smile. It's a shame. The manager cannot speak to children. They are traumatizing the children. They have a 21-year-old disabled person living there. Somebody is paying to upkeep them, and all the monies go to CPA, and nobody knows. Nobody can visit the children at Smile, the young ladies. What are we doing to the nation's children? I'm asking. Why? I mean, the government need to, we're just in 2 months in office, the government need to get into the bottom of these things and let us secure our children. Let us love our children. They have problems, they have issues, but we need to assist them and solve the issues, get them in society as normal human beings. Thank you.
Thank you for your concern there this morning in terms of the contribution you made there, caller. And certainly hope this situation there, we had a caller calling in a bit earlier this week and stating position with an individual who was locked up for a couple of weeks in a particular cell. And certainly hope this issue could be rectified sooner or later. Caller, let me say good morning to you. Would you mind lowering the radio or whatever device that you have in the background that is playing, please? Good morning. All right, I guess that caller is not ready to go live. 435-2041. Trying to chime in on the comments via the Facebook page is coming so fast that sometimes I can't keep up with it that much. Every time I chime in on one particular one, it moves on to another. 435-2041, 435-2041. That's the number you can call to be part of To The Point for today. It's an open line segment for today, which means no specific topics. You, the callers are there, have the option of calling in and speaking on various issues and topics that you have some form of concern about. 435-2041. It's To The Point for today, Friday. And let me take a peek at some of the comments that are out there once again. And let me try my WhatsApp page this morning and take a peek at that. And this comment via the WhatsApp is saying that there is a parallel public service which is not appointed by the Public Service Commission, and those are the ones that are appointed by politicians, and that's why they cannot be fired by the Public Service Commission. So we hope folks understand that. 435-2041, 435-2041. And let me go back to the Facebook page this morning and see if I could get some of the comments in. So much has been said this morning via the Facebook page, and let me see what some of the comments are certainly saying there. Let's go back to the phone line before I grab into it, because I'm trying to focus on one in particular. Good morning, caller. How are you? Caller, good morning. Hello, caller. Good morning to you. Guess there's no one there. 435-2041, 435-2041. That's the number for you to call to get on To The Point for today, Friday. It's the final one for this particular week, final edition of To The Point for this week. And certainly your phone calls are welcomed. 435-2041. Let's go back to the phone. Suddenly missed out on that one there once again. Not so happening with the line this morning. Suddenly seen may be having some issues. I hope not. Let's go back. Good morning, caller. How are you?
Yes, I'm not so well, but thanks for taking my call anyway.
Go right ahead.
Good morning to all the listeners and followers and the whatnot. Now, a few callers for this morning has already touched on a few important issues, and I support them to the fullest. I want to use a word here, ungovernable. This was a word that was used by the former Prime Minister. And so we are now in a situation where the country has become so funny. People, we have leftovers of most things that is happening. Anyway, my desire, I realize I may have a problem with the phone, but my desire is for us to bury the hatchet of hatred and envy and jealousy and whatnot. 40 years has passed. The Almighty Creator has made a decision, and I think that, yes, we should live with that. Thank you very much.
All right, caller, thank you very much for your contribution this morning. 435-2041 to the point for today, Friday. And may I remind you once again, we got lovely crickets coming up for you. This morning from 10 a.m. is the T10, the 60, they're calling it. And we have a male's game today. And also there's will be a female game coming around a little around this afternoon. So those of you can listen up to cricket here on K105. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, good morning, and how are you?
Good morning, sir. I'm all right, and how are you?
Yes, good morning. Go ahead with your contribution, please.
I thank you for those contributions, those things that has been said by Mr. Bernard and the caller who followed him. We have to realize that after 18 to 20 years of one administration without an opposition, a lot of things have gone chaotic. And so we now have God has intervened and give us a relief. We have to cherish that relief and thank God for saving us from the brink of disaster. And this new administration, instead of criticizing and want them in 2 months to undo all that was done over 20 years. We want to ask Grenadians, this is a time to give God thanks and praise and to pray that God would intervene and take control of our nation. There are too many evil things going on. Grenada has become very evil. A lot of things people don't know that is happening in Grenada. Grenada has become very evil. A lot of people have dipped their hand in things that they ought not to and have the country as it is. We got to pray. We got to turn to God. We got to ask God to intervene. Pray for those in authority. Maybe if we were to be praying for the former administration, they might not have reached where they reached, but they have gone beyond the measures. But we need now to ask God for forgiveness and pray for the nation. Pray for the leaders, pray for the ministers, pray for the government, pray for our people, our children in particular. Oh gosh, it hurts me to hear what's going on in that home. And I don't think that's the only one. I think most of those homes, and I have a very special issue with the homes, because I understand when the children reach 18 years, they have to leave. Where do they go? Who are they going to? What are they going to? What provision is made for them? And a lot of things in Grenada needs to be amended, but I'm asking Grenadians to ask God for help, turn to God, pray, and seek the face of God for this nation. Thank you.
Thank you for your contribution this morning. Caller 435-2041, 435-2041. And I'm looking at some of the comments via our Facebook page. They need professionals to work in the backlet institution. Troubled children need highly professional attention. I'm not saying there aren't any professionals who are there, but maybe just the professionals are there to help them. That's that comment there. Let's go back to the telephone line this morning and say good morning to the caller. Caller, good morning, and how are you? Welcome.
Hello, good morning. I have a neighbor that I just came in from the United States, and I feel that he's very insensitive to people with alopecia. And there's another term that I know from where I'm from. The cat is always telling the kettle that it's bottom black. And he also suffered from alopecia as a man. And I'm very offended being a stranger coming to Grenada. So I would like for those who don't know alopecia is, when you see people with it, respect them Wigs don't work for everybody. And this is my comment for this morning. Thank you.
Thank you for your contribution this morning, caller. I certainly understand where you're coming from. I've known someone with the same condition who's always seems to be a little bit, or feel a little bit insulted by others, just the mere way they look at them. I understand that. 435-2041, 435-2041. Let's go back to the telephone line. Good morning to you, caller.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I would like to get on to the calling program, please.
You're a live caller. Go right ahead with your contribution, please.
Okay. Now, I have a concern. I live at Archibald Avenue. And the bushes on the road, they're cutting the bushes and the chewing it over customs property. And I want to know if that is what they have to do, by cutting the road and chewing the bushes from somebody else's property.
That shouldn't be.
Well, this is what happened, and it just happened a while ago. I called out to them, but nobody took me on.
All right, caller.
That is just at the bottom of Knight's Auto Roll.
All right, caller.
Okay, thank you.
435-2041. Hope someone, of course, maybe a supervisor or so forth, who's part of that particular gang who's doing the debushing there, could probably look into that issue there. Yeah, they shouldn't be throwing the cut bushes into someone else's property. That's a no-no. 435-2041. 435-2041. We due for a break, but let's take the break after this caller. Good morning to you. How are you?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, I wanted to make a comment.
Go right ahead, please.
The last caller raised the topic about debushing, and it reminded me of what I wanted to call about. It's concerning the persons who are using weed eaters in the roads. And now it's been a lot of debushing program is on right now. There's a lot of cutting on the side of the roads, and it is very dangerous what they are doing. And up and down, we have not really learned create a way to avoid people getting hit with stones and vehicles from those weed eaters. And I am a driver. I have experience of stone coming at me when I'm driving close to my eyes. And if that happens, anything can cause accidents. People can miss control in the road. Right. But at the same time, when after Ivan, I remember Trinidad had shown us an idea of using some kind of plastic or some kind of
yes. There used to be where individuals would stand by with some sort of covering while the person is cutting.
From the road to avoid particles going into the road. And up to now, so yesterday, I remember driving from Sydney to town. I probably meet about 50 or more people cutting grass on the side of the road going down with the program. And they're using weed eaters. And nobody is using protection. And I'm serious. This thing is very dangerous.
All right.
Okay, and I don't know who is listening, but we need to address that. Find some way to protect people on the road.
All right, caller.
Thank you.
Thank you for your contribution, and that's certainly a concern there. And I have certainly noticed it. I have known someone who has had their windscreen broken by someone using your weed eater, cutting or using the debushing program and cutting, and had their windscreen broken. And no compensation up to this present time, and that happened more than going on 2 years more. Should I say even before the pandemic stepped in, that actually happened, and have not been compensated yet in terms of the replacement for cost replacement for that windscreen that was broken by someone who was using a weed eater. And so it's very serious. It's a very serious issue, and I don't want. There's been a lot of talk about it over the years. I see nothing has been done about it. It ceased for a while, and then it starts back again. Let's take another caller before I was thinking about taking a break, but let's go to the phone line and take another caller. Caller, good morning.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Telesford. Greetings. Trusting that all is well in your corner and you stay safe. Listen, this morning I ain't called to talk very much because previous callers, particularly Mr. Bernard and a couple of other brothers and sisters, said it crystal clear. Only thing I can say to Miss Pierre, she's getting on today and so on. Do not ever challenge a woman for saying what she wishes to say, or anybody from the opposition today. When they talk, because of their poor moral authority, because they've been so morally vanquished, just say, bah, humbug, nothing else. Who don't understand what that means, go and search the dictionary. Listen. I want to comment on that issue just spoken about with the brush cutters or weed eaters as we locally call them. Really their names are string trimmers. But anyway, brush cutters, weed eaters, whatever. These are tools, and extremely dangerous tools. But you know what our problem is here in this Grenada? Because we do JAPA. We have no standards. And when we refuse to obey standards as established by manufacturers, I want to underline the word, this is what happens. I stood at my door one day talking to a friend, and somebody across the road was using that machine, and a pebble about a half-inch rectangular hit me in my left eye. I was blind, of course, but it did in my place. And when you talk is word big, if you understand what I... But listen, the point is this. This is the key. This machine is designed with a guard over the propulsion system. In other words, this where the string spins. This is an OSHA, which is Occupational Safety and Health Administration standard for the use of this machine. Pay attention if you have a circular saw. You see it has a guard around the saw so that when you cut, it directs the sawdust to a particular port. This is called a dangerous discharge protection system. And the machine should not be. If you look at that machine, you will see a yellow triangle with a yellow base rectangle with a black isosceles triangle and an exclamation mark there. That has an international meaning, warning, prohibited to use without the guard. The guard is a protection system so you can direct your rubble that you cut from your propulsion whips to the point you would like it. It does not raise it. It does not divert it. It can be used properly. This is how the machine has been designed to be used. But the authorities in this country do nothing about it. And that is why you have people windscreen being damaged, people's houses being dirtied, people getting struck in the road, and nobody cares because this country has lacked all efforts. Eliminated all effort to raise the standards and to protect the people of this country. It is the duty of the police to see that. Using that machine without the blaze around, without the guard, is like walking St. George's with a cutlass, brothers and sisters. That's what it is all about. It is extremely, it is a prolific missile launcher. It is dangerous. I can end by telling you that in the United States, I don't really like to use a reference, but if you cut in your grass in your yard and you throw that or into another people's property, you're done with a lawsuit. It has to end, but it has to be the authority, the police in this country. But the thing that they know nothing about that, and they don't take advice from others. Years ago, this was speaking, and it's just about time that ends. But just for what it's worth. Although there's so many other things to talk about, let me leave it for another day. I don't feel to talk very much today. Have a nice day, William.
All right, same to you, sir. Have a great weekend. 435-2041, 445. Don't forget, we'll be cutting the program a bit short this morning, maybe in the next 5 minutes or so. We'll cut the program a bit short this morning to, of course, get the preparation for the cricket coming up this morning. Stay locked on for that. 435-2041. We do have another caller. Let's go to the phone line. Caller, good morning, and how are you? Good morning to you, caller. I guess that caller having a bit of an issue with their phone there. And I've been told I'm not reading the comments. I'm told I'm not been reading the comments via the Facebook page. Let me see any comment that is relevant to throw out this morning before I go back to the phone line. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, good morning. How are you? Good morning to you, caller. All right, seem to always, this particular caller or number per se always seems to be cutting their phone off whenever they call. I've been noticing that for a while. I'm not sure if their phone has an issue. Let's try this caller. Good morning to you, caller. How are you?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, how are you doing, sir?
Doing okay.
Yeah, I support Brother Rook 190% on this thing about the weed eater.
Yes, he was correct in terms of what he was saying. Mm-hmm.
One in Tantin, one Saturday morning, I think one morning, thing hit me right over my left eye. A pebble from that. And I totally agree that the police must look at these things, and the supervisors from the Ministry of Works must insist that these operators use the guards if at all they have to use this equipment.
But is it permitted per se for them to use it, especially those folks who are using that? Is it, I mean, the bushing program, is weed eaters permitted to use, or should they be using other devices for tools per se for cutting?
We say technology, we have to use technology.
I understand that.
So we have to use technology safely. You know, from my background, when you go to class, the first thing they tell you, safety. A place for everything, and everything in its place. The machine comes with a guard, leave the guard on, because it's done for safety. And I'm tired of having to duck, and when you're going along the street, some of the guys, they don't look to see if anything is coming, they just keep cutting. They have absolutely no regard for other road users. So
it seems a little bit unconcerned sometimes, and they just focus on what they're doing and pay little attention to to their surroundings, per se.
Yeah. And then the passers-by and others, we suffer injury, and there is no redress. So I support totally Brother Rolo and the previous lady, because it's about time. And since you have a new dispensation, let the Ministry of Works instruct the road users with the bushes and others. Right. That is what has to happen. If it's not happening, you're not working. Period. Put on the guard. Another thing we see in this country, we are a Christian country. And we're talking about victimization and other things like that. Remember, when Christ went to the temple and the fellows were misusing the temple, using it as a place to sell and make money, he beat them out. He didn't just ask them to go to an election. So sometimes we have to clear a path if we want to travel safely.
Thank you for your contribution this morning, caller. 435-2041. I'm just going to take a couple more calls, and then we're going to wrap the program up for today, Friday. It's To The Point. It's an open line edition of To The Point for today. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, good morning, and how are you?
I wouldn't be long. For the issue of the weed eater or string cutter, it's only part of the problem dealing with the whole issue of health and safety in Grenada. We take health and safety very lightly. We travel on vehicle, all this nonsense we do. You know, we have people who spray in insecticide. I suffer from that. The same insecticide literally in my house. So we have this kind of problem. People feel they could do anything they want, poison you, and nothing happens. But I wouldn't dwell on that today, maybe another time. The thing I want to, the final point is that GT, I think we really need to make a concerted effort, and GBN probably could take the lead in helping people understand processes. For instance, when a parliament is dissolved, there's a certain amount of time when the government must call election. Similarly, after a government is after people are elected, there's a time that they could take before they have the first sitting of Parliament. And people don't seem to know that. The government have at least 90 days, I think, for at least 3 months, before they call the first sitting of Parliament.
Yes.
Some government goes to the end, and some, rushed in, you know. But people think it's bad, you know, the government and this and that. And the other thing about it, historically, we have not had parliament in August. August have been kind of recessful politicians, even the last administration. So people tend to seem that they have small, short memory. And we need to do the parliament normally prorogue in August, sometime July, August. So that, the folks that had the time, carnival, whatever. So let us be honest, and let us be as Mrs. Spear said, let us be honest.
A little bit more real, per se. Right. Thank you for your contribution this morning, caller. 435-2041. We probably can entertain another one or two more callers before we wrap the program up for this morning. And we got one call in. Let's say good morning to this caller. Guess my hand's a little bit too quick in terms of getting that call. Good morning to you, caller. How are you this morning?
Yeah, morning. I'm okay.
Yeah, let's go right ahead.
Yeah, I'm calling concerning the road in Clavoni. I called about this last week.
Yes, you did.
And something is going on. This road started a year and 4 months ago. And not even 10% of the road is complete. They stockpile a set of material to do this road and then keep on moving the material from this road to a next road. And the other thing is that they lay down a set of blocks on the side of the road and a set of steel is up. Just the grass is covering this thing, and this is very dangerous. And up this road is farming area. They dig a set of big drains, like 4 feet deep, 6 feet wide, and farmers have to cross from the road to get to the lands. And don't make no preparation or nothing, no consideration for the farmers to get to the lands and back. And you have to carry load, and this thing is very dangerous. You have to cross over the steel to get to the road, cross over the steel to get to your land, and it's very dangerous. So I need the government, although they is new, but to look into this project, this Clavoni project, because it's a year and 4 months now, and not even 10% of the road is complete. So I need to know what's taking place, and this road needs to complete because the road was good through the village, and they dig up the road, they dig up drains, and right now the rain is falling and a set of mud and all sorts of things is going on.
All right.
So we need to know what's taking place with this road, and this road needs to be completed.
All right, caller. Thank you for your contribution this morning. Certainly hope someone in authority is listening, and certainly they will do what is necessary to have that project completed. 435-2041. We're looking at just around 8 minutes moving up, and maybe we can take another caller. This one will certainly be my final caller this morning before we wrap the program up for today. Caller, good morning, and how are you?
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm happy to know that an intervention has been made in that initial call I made to the radio station regarding the Bacalet situation. But if what I'm hearing is correct, that is not the right option in terms of placing him with other persons, especially girls. And I know the people there. As I said, I work there. The mindset of these people, where I've put this thing out in the open, they would do things in retaliation that would even be more worse than what it initially was. I hope, it is my understanding that the authorities at the ministerial level is aware of what is happening, and I hope that it make immediate intervention to correct the situation there. But it just proved my point that someone had said that I was bitter because I was released from this center in terms of employment. My employment there was in 2019, December of 2019. And this thing has, it was an unfortunate thing to have
I'll take another 30 seconds and wrap because we're almost time to wrap for this morning.
It was an unfortunate thing to have happened, but I am over that. My concern is that young man.
All right.
14, 15-year-old. It's not fair. And I hope the authorities know that they have moved him, do the correct thing in placing him in the right and make sure that he has the proper treatment. Thank you very much and have a good morning.
Thank you for your call this morning, caller, and certainly your contribution has been appreciated. Well, let me say thank you to all who participated this morning in terms of calls and comments. I certainly want to thank you a lot. It's been a pretty interesting week this week in terms of To The Point, folks. You could join us again next week for another edition of To The Point. That'll be next week, Monday. And I want to hope that all have a great weekend for viewers via GBN TV, Channel 7, Channel 11, and Channel 20. Thank you for being part of To The Point for this week. So certainly a pleasure having you partaking in whether it's a calls or when we do have a guest. And certainly hope you did enjoy this particular week. Let me say thank you once again also those of you listening via K105. Thank you so much for taking the time out to listen to the program. And of course our online listeners and our Facebook platform listeners and viewers there, thank you also so much for your comments and taking the time out to listen up and partake in terms of your comments and so forth from To The Point. So then we say goodbye, and then we also remind you cricket comes up on K105 in the next couple of minutes, Cricket Live, and I forget it's the 60s playing, and it's a T10 competition, and we do have one game that's coming up at 10 a.m. this morning. Kings versus Patriots. That's in the male division of the game. That comes up for you just at 10 a.m. Just around 5 minutes or so. So thanks again, folks, for being part of To The Point for today. Have yourself a great day.